Hello, everyone. My name is Bruno Abreu. I'm the CEO and co-founder of SCUBIC. SCUBIC is a water tech company that combines data analytics with optimization. Our goal is to reduce the OPEX costs that water utilities have to transport water from the source, could be rivers, dams, or any other type of water source until the end consumer, that is us in our homes. And to do that, we apply artificial intelligence models so we can predict the water and the energy demand for the next 24 hours, and then optimize the water network based on that demand. That is what SCUBIC does. And for this, we build virtual operators to manage the water network, but with mathematical skills much higher than any human can have it.
Hi, Bruno. How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm a little bit stressful, but it's normal. It's normal.
Stressful? This is not the stressful. It's work. It's not this, right?
Yeah, but I take very seriously these things. So yeah, no, but I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm okay.
um, I met you when I was in Portugal. Like Portugal is like one of my favorite places, but also um, I'm very happy to have a client that I love going every single year. So I am very lucky to meet a lot of you guys when I'm there. And this year, obviously not, which makes me very sad. But I wanted more and more people to learn about the most amazing businesses that are growing out of Portugal. And you are one of the businesses that I definitely want people to get to know. So before we start talking about your business, the business you, let's talk about you. So Bruno, where are you and who are you?
Okay, well, I'm in a small city in the center of Portugal called Aveiro. It's the Portuguese Venice, how they call it, because we have a lot of water channels and boats traveling around. So it's a very beautiful city with a wonderful university, which is the University of Aveiro, and that is the main reason why I'm here. I was born in an island in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, the Madeira Island, and then I come back here to study my mechanical engineer degree. After I finished my master degree on mechanical engineering, I continued for a PhD on energy systems and energy optimization.
So wait, I'm going to stop you. So
Okay,
I really feel like I have to stop everyone that does this.
okay.
You jumped really quickly from where you were born and where you're from to right to your career. There's so much to you before your career. So can I learn a little bit more about who you are? And I mean, you slipped in Iceland, and I'm like, you slipped it in so quickly. Then I'm like, wait, did I even know that? I don't think I even knew that. So let's back up a little bit more
Okay, okay.
about who you are, not your career yet, who you are, family, friends, growing up. Iceland, hello, Iceland. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna recapitulate because sometimes my English it's not perfect,
Oh
but
no. Your English is fine. Don't use that as an excuse. You just
yeah.
you avoided a big chunk out of your life, and that's what I want to hear the most.
Okay, okay. Let me just correct one thing. It's not Iceland. It's an island, Madeira Island. Island.
All right. Okay.
Sorry. Again, my English it's not perfect. Told you. Okay, I was born on that island in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean that is called Madeira. It is the home of Cristiano Ronaldo. Is where he were born. We used to be not direct neighbors, but we live on the same zone of the city many
And
years ago.
for anyone that doesn't know who that is, can you tell people who that is?
Yeah, Cristiano Ronaldo is the best soccer player or football player, depends on which type of the world you are, of the world, or used to be one, the best one. And he know a lot of people know him because of this, and of course, a lot of people know what Madeira is because of him. But again, it was very good to grow up. It's an amazing places. We all the things that you need. Nice weather all year round, so it's good to be in shorts and t-shirts in December. So yeah, that's also good. It's a wonderful place to pass some holidays there. And but again, when I was 18, and yeah, they have the university there, but they didn't have the master degree that I want to have, that is the mechanical. That's the main reason I came to the mainland. to study. But
Did your, I mean, was it pushed upon you to become an engineer? Was it pushed up? I mean, like, so is it in your family that everyone was doing the same exact role and this is all of a sudden you grew up with it and this is what you're going to do? Or is it something that you decided to go off on your own? And if so, what did your family think when you decided to go this route?
yeah, well, no, it doesn't relate anything with my family. I'm one of the first people in the family to have a college degree, and so my parents always let me decide what I want to study, what areas that I want to get more specialized in. So it was a completely decision on my own. But I get to finish the college there, and the high school, the high school, and I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. Yeah, I back then I had another startup. This was back on 2001, I think. It was a startup for doing parties. So if you want to have a party, you can hire us and we will build everything that you need. Yeah, but I get to a time that I'm going to do parties or I'm going to study. So I decided to go to study.
So what kind of parties? When you're saying parties, I mean, was this just because you wanted to get your friends together or?
No. Imagine that it's your birthday and you want to hire DJs and you want barmen and you want dancers and you have that place and you don't know anyone to do this. And I'm talking back on 98, 99, that having a mix table, CDs and some vinyls, not everyone has that type of equipment.
Right.
And balls of mirrors with lasers, all of those things. And I start buying that since I was, I don't know, 15, something like that. Wait. Yeah, lights, sorry. And yeah, back then was very difficult to be a DJ or something like that. We will need a lot of money and not many people have that. Nowadays, everybody's a DJ, but back then it was not like that. So if you want to have a very good Christmas party, birthday party, marriage, anything like that, you hire us and we will deal with everything. From security to the DJ.
Wait, but were you a DJ or like what means, or were you just an event planner?
I try to be a DJ. I'm not good for DJ. that's the main conclusion for that. I'm very good shaking my head. Yeah, that's what I'm very good. More than that, no. I was like the light jockey. I will build the lasers, all those things, the lights, but everything working with the electricity part. But I was mainly the manager. I was the public relationships, talking with people, selling our company, and building everything else. But the DG was one of my best friends nowadays. He was the one who had the right skills to be a DJ. I was not. I can assure you that.
So now this is like, it's very intriguing because, I mean, what did your family think of this? And then all of a sudden you're like, party planner, and then university.
Yeah.
So how were they? Were they supportive? Were they confused? Were they like okay with it? I mean, how did that evolve? And then you decide, and what was that moment that you decided to go into university? Because event planner and literally changing the dynamics of engineering. I mean, there's no comparison whatsoever.
Yeah, I get to my 18th birth and I didn't know what to do with my life. I can assure that. I love the parties. I love developing, even doing everything for the parties. But I get to the time that I'm going to do this for the rest of my life. No, it doesn't make sense. Didn't make sense in 2001. And now also didn't make sense because I made the right decision to go to study. Yeah, but I get to the 18, I lost my last year on high school and my parents were like, you're going to study or you're going to do parties? And yeah, and I decided to study and because I didn't want to do parties for the rest of my life. I love parties, but it's not, that time was not a good job. So that's why I decided. But one of the first thing, and I never forget this, that my parents, my dad say, when I say, Dad, I entered university. Really? I never see you study. How you did that? Yeah, and I say, yeah, but I do. I sometimes do, believe me, I do. So yeah, that's the big career change. But back then, I would love to pick things, dismount it, try to do anything different with those things, being especially electric parts, a little bit of mechanicals like bicycles and bikes, things like that. That's why when I see looking to university, mechanical degree, civil degree, environmental degree, and I say, no, mechanical is the right one for me because it's very broad. It takes many different areas. So it was the best one for me because I didn't really know what I wanted. So choose the one that can open you a lot of doors. Don't decide a master based on what you like to do, but decide a master in the opportunities that will get to you on the future. That's the main decision that I went to engineer.
I think that it's just so impressive because 18 years of age, and most people just, again, you love the parties, you're making the money, you're organizing all these people coming together. To make that decision to go to university is a big jump. Was there something that happened that you just realized it's time to change over? Or was it just like, I just want to kind of like just go with the flow? I mean, what was it? What happened? Because again, when I say it's just a dramatic change, and for your family to even say, we didn't ever see you study, like, where did this come from? That happened, or what was it instilled in you that made you make that decision for you?
It's just like answering a very easy question. What you want to do in 10 years time? Do you want to do parties for the rest of your life? Yeah, it doesn't make sense. And if like COVID-19 happens, you don't have parties anywhere, so your business will go bankruptcy in 1 month or two. So looking back, it was the best decision that I took. Well, I have some pressure from my friends group. Some of them already went to university on the year before me. So I look to them, yeah, I want to go to the mainland, have freedom, go away from my parents, have my own house, do whatever I want. That was also a motivating factor to get in. But the mainly thing is that looking at 18, saying at 30, I want to do parties. No, I have to do something more with my life. I'm not going to do this. That's why I have to study, having a master degree, and then that will open a lot of doors. And by then, if I want to do parties, I can do it, but I still have the plan B, that is a master degree in mechanical engineer that probably will give me a job in any part of the world. So yeah, that was the main thing. Thinking not on the short term, because at 18, you only think what's going to happen tomorrow, but looking like, yeah, what I want to do in the next 5 years or 10 years, and try to just make that decision based on that.
I'm going to go, my questions, I'm going to go a little bit out of order because you said, you said a key word of the pandemic. Right now, since the beginning of the year, we've been dealing with a pandemic, since the spring. And so what advice would you give to somebody that is younger? Like right now you're seeing all the students, these young kids are, they're confused, they're overwhelmed, they're scared. They had a plan and they are now, they have no idea what to do. Because of like the way that you just like had that trajectory of your life, what advice would you give to anyone that's younger, that's trying to define their lives, and where do they go during a pandemic? Like how do they evolve and make something their own during this time?
Okay. It's a little bit, it's tough for being entrepreneur during this time, but going back, and in order for you to be entrepreneur, you will pass very bad moments. I can assure you that. I don't know any entrepreneur that doesn't have a pass. And we already passed some of those bad moments since 2015 when we started building SCUBIC. I was talking 2015, Portugal was in the middle of economic crisis. Money for startups, money for software companies was almost very difficult to get. So yeah, I passed some bad years during that time. But getting to the pandemic, you get to the part that you have to auto-motivate yourself, saying tomorrow it's going to be better. Tomorrow it's going to be better. This is a crazy. The pandemic doesn't exist, so tomorrow it's going to. It exists. I'm not saying it doesn't exist, but I have to have this mindset. Tomorrow it's going to be better. Tomorrow it's going to be better, and tomorrow the sun will shine again. Yeah, it's this mindset. Being entrepreneur help you developing this mindset. Getting to the pandemic, it was tough. Of course, even for you I already have this mindset, was very, very tough. Going back to home, being confined, don't know how to manage my team because we never been each one on their homes, which platforms do gonna use, things like that. From a young entrepreneur, it's like, be positive. This will pass. Humanity will not finish. This is not a war that a lot of bad things will happen. Better days will come, and it's not that far away. Still, I have to believe on this. Otherwise, it's better to throw the towel on the floor and do everything, another thing with my life. Being a young entrepreneur, or young people, like you say, sometimes the times of crisis is also the times of opportunities. If you look to Zoom, nobody was using Zoom before January.
Literally, other than you were an entrepreneur ecosystem, no one knew about Zoom.
Exactly. Nowadays, I have Zoom. I buy the license for Zoom, and I love Zoom, of course. And it was a very good opportunity for Zoom, and they grow. I wish I could buy some stocks from them back on January. Yeah, exactly. So it's like this. The time of crisis is also the time of opportunities. And being entrepreneur, the first things that they ask is, which problem are you solving? So look at your community, look where you live, of course, the world, and try to find small solutions to solve those little problems, like be at home. I saw many restaurants that didn't made any takeaway being completely transformed to takeaway. They adapt to this situation. So look to the problems that you have on your society and try to find solution for them. And the pandemic, of course, it's a crisis. That's also a very good time for opportunities. I know some companies that have grown a lot during this pandemic. So you just need to be very attention in what's around you and try to build solutions to solve those problems.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, you said it so well. I love it. So when so you go into engineering school. You are now focusing on mechanical, right?
Used to be. Yeah, nowadays I'm more in management. I'm surrounded by engineers. I look to them. I'm jealous because they see the charts, all of those things, but I'm dealing with other things. Somebody has to do this job, but yeah.
But all right, but you're in it, like a mechanical, you're touching it, you're feeling it, you're designing. When was that moment of graduating from university and then creating the company? Or was there something in between before you created the company?
Yeah, it was something in between. I get by the end of during my master thesis, I was developing nanofluids. That was fluids with nanoparticles, a very, very scientific thing. Let me put it like this. Yeah, I was finishing my master's degree. They offered me scholarships to continue the research that I was doing. So I did that for 1 year and a half. Then I applied for a PhD grant. And the first year I didn't get the grant. The second year I get it. So yeah, and I did a PhD. Not that I'm a very smart person. I'm not. I work a lot. I work a lot to achieve my goals, but I don't consider me a very smart people. But a very hard worker. That's for sure. And I get to a point during the research. Then I passed for my PhD thesis. And during that, I go back to my mentor's room and see a shell full of theses from master, PhD theses, a lot of theses. Look at them. There is a lot of money there in knowledge that nobody is doing anything with that. That's money from our, especially here from our taxes that we pay, that the university gets some, and look into that shell and say, I don't know, there is like 30 theses there. That's, let's say, 10,000 for each thesis. That's 300,000 euros that is there in knowledge that it's lost. Nobody's going to do anything with that. So I'm getting to the part in the middle of my PhD thesis, looking how I can pick on my PhD thesis and transfer this knowledge to the market. So I start looking for accelerator programs specialized for scientists and researchers, looking at that, how we can pick on this knowledge and build products. That's when I fell in love in how to transfer technology to the market. I picked my PhD thesis, I did a business plan, I get to the end of accelerator and that business plan, and the main conclusion is that I don't have market for my PhD thesis. I have to wait like 10 years for things developed to get to a part that, okay, this is cheap and we can build a product on this.
Wait. So the thesis was an idea and a concept, and then was the technology not existence? It didn't exist yet, or were you having to build the technology to support your thesis? What came?
Yeah, it's a little bit of both. It didn't exist yet that time, or well, at least at my knowledge. I know some Chinese guys that were working, but on the market, solutions like the ones that we are developing, I didn't find any one of those.
Okay.
That was the main thing. The other part is that, imagine we are building like new fluids, and you have like the normal fluids that exist, and they cost like $1. And I was building fluids that cost $10 to do more or less the same thing. Okay, they were better. They will receive reductions on energy consumption, things like that. But it was tough for anyone to pay 10 times more for a product, and they didn't see the real return on investment on that product. Nowadays, nanoparticles are very, very cheap. You can buy it everywhere. Back then, I'm talking in 2011, 2012, was not like that. That was the main reason I have to abandon. But I know a Portuguese company that didn't pick my idea. They were developing at the same time. I didn't know it back then. And they are on the market. I don't know how they are, but I know they are on the market, building the same idea that I have. But well, I didn't have the right team, the right money, and probably the right technology to build those products. But,
when you have an idea, and I mean, like, so what is that emotion that you go through? Because you work so hard on it. I mean, you work so hard on your PhD. You have, and you just said it, you saw all these individual theses that were just, it was just money on the table. What is that like when it doesn't work out and then you watch someone else that makes it work?
Well, it's tough. You get jealous a little bit, but you have to deal with that. It's like being a research. It's also a very dismotivating situation because sometimes you work like 90% of your time for just 10%. Those 10% is what you really see things moving, things happening. And be a research, sometimes it's trial and error until you get those things. So you get those skills of, okay, it's Monday, I need to go to work. It didn't work on Friday, but will work today. Look to that, what I can do different. Test, fail, do it again. So being a research helped me a lot, developing those skills on trial and error and being motivated when you have the error part. It's tough, but it's tough, I can assure you that. Well, sometimes the easy part was like calling some friends, let's go for a night with some drinks, party a little bit. Okay, this is Friday, on Monday I will try again. And so each one of us has each one manners of getting auto-motivated. Sometimes for me it's going with some friends, a dinner, traveling a little bit, things like that. Other people can do some sports. It depends on the people. But
I do love that. Well, I do love how you just said that, because most entrepreneurs, most academics that are working on research, they don't take breaks at all. And so just knowing yourself so well, do you think it's because of that, we'll call the entrepreneurial ecosystem of like running your business and you knew how to do that? I mean, where did that come from? Because when you're working on something, you're working so hard on it that you just forget to eat. You forget to like go home and sleep. You forget because you're so focused. And especially when you get stuck, I always say you go down the rabbit hole because you get stuck and you're like, I'm going to keep doing it and doing it and doing it until I find the solution. And that solution may never come because you're just still like laser focused. So for you, how did you know to like, basically, how did you know how to take care of yourself? Because most people just don't. They're like, they don't take the break. They don't. So why all of a sudden you learned how to do that? Number one question. But also, when was it that you realized this was not going to work?
Well, okay. Let me begin with the first question. How I learned to do this?
Yep.
Well, I don't know if I have the right answer or the correct answer for those things. It's like, yeah, like you say, doing a PhD thesis, sometimes you don't know, especially the last year, the last 6 months, it was crazy. I don't know. I get to Tuesday and I was thinking which day of the week we are. I was working on Sundays, on Saturdays, but you get to the point that you have to evaluate your productivity. And working so many days, your productivity will go low. Say, no, I have to stop. Go rest for 2 days, go rest for 1 day, and then come back, look to the problem again, try to see in a different way. You have to have this not this mindset, but you have to do this. You have to look at you and say, okay, I'm here, I'm very tired. Should I continue working? I'm producing so little. Sometimes it's better, stop for a day, go do whatever you want, and then come back. And sometimes just doing that, you will have wonderful ideas. I remember driving cars. When I was driving from place A to place B, I have a lot of ideas. So for me, traveling by car alone, of course, alone, it was very good because I started thinking, yeah, I did that, it didn't work. Oh, let me try to do those things. So yeah, I was resting. You are not always completely resting, but at least you are not on your labor, on your department, looking to your experience, things like that. Go outside. Sometimes thinking out of the box, or it's good. It's like, yeah, go to the beach, go to a cafe, do something, work there. Don't work on the university. Go anywhere. And just little things can make a huge difference on your productivity. But look at your productivity. When you are tired, you don't produce. It's better stop for 5 hours, go to sleep, then come back. But you have to evaluate that yourself. And some people can work 3-5 days on a roll. I can't. I can work 3 days on a roll, sleeping 3-4 hours, but on the 4th day, I need to rest. But yeah, that's how I learned doing this. Trial and error, I think. Yeah, saying that.
But then, all right, so then, not but then, but so then, when did you get to a point where idea number 1 didn't work out? I'm gonna like put that to bed. And then you started with the new company. So how and what happened, and how has it been throughout?
Okay. It was tough because the good part is that my first project, we were on an accelerator, like I told you. So you get a lot of mentors, a lot of feedback. And you get by the end, they say, yeah, Bruno, your project, it's nice, but I think you don't have all the right team, or you need to develop some more things. Having those feedback, it's hard to hear that, yeah, because it's one thing that you work a lot, but you also have to be a little bit knowledge that the probability for you to have an idea that nobody have and you will revolutionize the world, it's like getting your lottery ticket. So you can get it, but the probability for not getting it's much, much higher. And you have to have that mindset, but it's tough. I wake up saying, come on, I'm researching this. This doesn't have any business, or I cannot build a business case based on this technology. One thing that I really wanted, it was tough. But I get on the next week and I say, but now I have the right skills to transfer technology. I know the right steps, how to go to any PhD thesis, pick that PhD thesis and start building. And after, I don't know, 3 months, 4 months, say, this can work, this cannot work. But I learned how to do all those steps. And that was very, very important for me. That's why I have a specialty on how to transfer technology to the market. I don't care which type of technology we are talking about. Of course, if the mechanical engineer, it's better for me that I understand a little bit better. But I know the step to transfer any technology to the market, despite of which area. And yeah, but I was on the mechanical department with a lot of research ideas, a lot of PhD ideas, and I say, I can pick. I just need to get the right ones. And I start knocking on the door, saying, what you do? Yeah, what is, yeah, and I would love, what is the uniqueness from your research? Normally, they didn't know how to answer to me. And when you do to a very university professor a question they don't know how to answer based on their research, you will get their attention. I can assure you that. And the best question, go to a research guy and say, what is the uniqueness from your research? You will see, they will explain what they do. And I say, not what they do, what is the uniqueness? And yeah, I started knocking on the doors from many of my ex-professors, at that time was my colleagues, for saying and say, what is the uniqueness? What you do? What we can do with this? And I arrived to this one, which is water management. And I don't understand anything about water management, but I know a lot of things of optimization, a lot of things of water costs, energy costs. We don't care. So yeah, I picked that, do all the steps again, go back to the accelerator, and we get, by the end of the accelerator, being one of the top 3 teams there. So with the best idea, the best team. So yeah, and it was a match. And I could.
So all right. So before we dive into like exactly what you guys do, how was the learning curve? You just said you had no idea about you had no idea. Well, what was the learning curve for you? Because you found the company, you're like, okay, this is gonna work for me. I know nothing about it. How did you do it? Because a lot of people, the reason why I'm asking is a lot of people that want to start a business and they want it to be a startup, and they do just like you. They look for that right startup, yet they don't know anything about it. And so being able to find that one and not start it from the ground, like from the granular. Some people don't want to start a startup from the granular. They want to start it where it's like, okay, it's established, there's a name, and I can do the business aspect of it, but I still have to learn about it. So you coming in, you finding it, how was the learning curve of understanding what it does and who's it for? And then what it is and like what's the benefit?
Yeah, okay. You have 2 types of startups. One that I could have that idea, you could have that idea, anybody could have that idea. The other one, and it's very easy to replicate that idea and to copy that idea. Mm-hmm. When you go to very tech startups that need a little bit of R&D on development, they are more sexy because it's very difficult to anybody to copy. But again, it's a little bit more challenging because you'll need to know little things in different areas. So these are 2 types of startups. Both of them are wonderful. I prefer to work with the more tech ones. Going back, I decided to go to mechanical engineers because of the different opportunities, the different areas that they open. Doing the mechanical engineer degree was very important because you deal with energy management, you deal with optimization, you deal with materials, you deal with a lot of maths and physics and how to build. So you'll learn a lot how to study. So you get to the part that, yeah, I don't know anything about water. Let me pick these 10, 20 reports, read a lot of things, go to scientific articles, read what they are saying about this. And of course, if you are a little bit intelligent, you will not get the full picture, of course, but you will get, okay, I need a developer. I need a hydraulics guy that knows some things about water. I need the energy guys that know about electric. So I have the knowledge of the skills that I need on my team. I don't have, and when I hire someone, I normally say, I'm hiring you for you to teach me how I should do my work. Because if I have to teach you how you should do your work, I will do it. I will not hire you. So yeah, and that's one thing. When you are building these startups, it's like, okay, I don't know how to code. I need a developer. Which type of developer do I need? A developer with this skill, this skill. Okay, let's go to the market, find one of these. Okay, I need the marketing girl or lady, and I don't know anything about marketing. Okay, I can go to Facebook and Twitter and put some things, but that's marketing. But when you are building a real startup, you need people with those skills here. So yeah, I need a marketing girl. Then yeah, and you start building these things a little bit, but it's a matter of studying. There are so many different ways that you can study if one idea can work or not. But I can assure you that when I on the university telling some other professors of mine, I'm going to build this, they say, you are crazy. That won't work. You will be bankruptcy even before you begin. I say, okay, let's see. I'm going to discover it, so I'm going to fail or not, but I have to discover. And now they call me, can you go here to the university, give some workshops here about being entrepreneur, be all of those things, how we can transfer, how we can transfer technology to the market. Yeah, they completely, I changed their mindset. And looking back to my mechanical department, nowadays, I see a lot of students, a lot of teachers with the mindset, with the entrepreneur mindset. Much different than back on 2013 when I started asking, let's sell this technology, this thesis, it's wonderful doing thesis. let's transfer this technology to the market. We cannot keep doing theses, just theses. But yeah, and I'm a little bit, sometimes I say not bad things, but I'm not scared what people think. But I say what I think, and if I don't believe in one thing, if I will say it, I don't mind. If I don't agree with you, I'm going to say we agree that we disagree.
We need more of that, because I mean, honestly, I go to have individuals that all say and think the same. It's not very beneficial at the end of the day. It really isn't. All right. So what does SCUBIC do? I mean, so if I'm the customer, what happens? How do I interact with you? What do I get from you?
Yeah, okay. So we are mainly focused on water utilities. So water, 3 years ago, nobody talked about water. Of course, we have the climate change, all those things, but nobody was talking about water management, the problems with water, and this is changing. But yeah, that's our main customers. But then they have to pick the water from the rivers, they have to treat the water, they have to transport the water, they have to distribute the water. And you have so many different problems during those steps until it arrives at our home. So we start looking to the reports from the water utilities industry and say, we need to solve this problem, we need to solve this one. And we start looking, yeah, I think we can build solutions to do those things. And again, this is data. Everybody's talking about digitalization and industry 4.0. Water utilities have database, but going back like 20 years, they are doing the digitalization part, I don't know, 10 years before everybody was talking about those things. But they get to a part that they don't know what to do with so many data. They have so many sensors, so many years of data. What can I do with this? And there's where we get in. We will pick the data, transform it, predict the water demand, energy demand, and then optimize all the water management from the source until the end consumer. That's what we do, optimizing how we manage our water source and our water distribution.
Who's the best customer for you? Because I mean, this sounds so, I mean, when you're saying it, it sounds just so big. So who's benefiting the most out of using your services?
Yeah, again, the good part of my technology is that we manage water in the same way in any part of the world. We need the source, we need the pumps, we need the treatment, and then we need the consumer. So our technology can be applied in any country of the world, if you have water, of course. That's the main thing. But you ask, sorry.
Who is the key customer? Like who's the person that would benefit the most out of using your services?
It's the water utility. Of course, I want to reduce the cost for the water utility so they can reduce the cost that we pay for the water, and that's the end goal. That's the end goal. I don't know if they're going to reduce the cost they charge for the water, but I'm helping them to have the ability to do that without having any loss on the revenue. But it's that. Sorry.
What did the pandemic do for your company? So the pandemic started in the early year. I mean, the spring of 2020. What did that do for you? What did it do for the company? The growth, not growth, and how are you handling it? I mean, because we're going to be dealing with this pandemic for a few more months. Mm-hmm. We're going to be dealing with it for the ramifications for years. But what did that do for you and your company?
It was, I can assure you, it was tough. It was not easy, even for a software company, data analytics. It was not easy because water utilities and water world, it's still very conservative. They like you to meet you in front, talk a little bit, and then we can do a business. And being at home, closed, you don't have conference, you don't have fairs, you don't have anything that you can go and have those cold conversations with this type of people. Of course, LinkedIn helped a lot getting there, but was very, very tough for us because at least for 3 months, it was impossible to have meetings with future clients. Of course, we never stop. We need to develop these new features on the platform, things like that. I think I stopped for 1 day from picking my screen and go home. That was it. But it was really tough because here in Portugal and also Spain, everything closed on the 2nd week of March. And on the first week of March, we were in Spain in an international conference about water, and we received the innovation prize for operations. Yeah, it was our first international prize. We were like very proud, very happy. A lot of people talking about us. We gained a lot of momentum, and then everything closed. And that momentum, we lost those momentum. The connection that we made in Spain and trying to get there, in other countries also, it was lost. So it was tough to readapt to this situation. But again, being a researcher, we never give up. We only give up when someone hits you with a keyhole and you are on the floor like bleeding. Yeah, when you do that, yeah, you have to stop. Until then, never give up. Let's try again. Okay, this is not working. What can we do better? Do we need to hire someone? So we start looking to social media, trying to see a lot of people, doing a lot of connection with them, sending them a lot of emails, cold emails, marketing emails, try to readapt. You can never give up. You only give up when someone puts you on heel. Until then, don't give up, readapt, always.
So how did you add anything to during this time? Because I mean, obviously we all have lots and lots of time. Was there something that you added to your company that you didn't think you were going to add right now or ever think about adding? Because now you have the time to think over new things. So what was it that you, if you could talk about it, what was it that you added to your company that you didn't think that you would have added before?
Well, marketing department. Yeah, because again, I was saying that we have very conservative clients. So we already know the conference that we should be in, because I know they will be there and we'll have to talk with them. But that's me. I'm the CEO. I'm the one who should be there, or my Anna, who is the business developer or the operational manager. Me and her should be there, and we'll do everything. Of course, I will have a small stand, but besides that, I will not need it. That was our plan A until the pandemic hit us, and it's yeah, unless we pass a lot of our time in social media, building those marketing emails, doing things like that, we will not get new clients, we will not grow. So I have to hire someone to help me doing those things. That was one of the things. I know I will have a marketing department, but maybe on 21 or 22, not on 2020. But yeah, I had to hire someone. She's next to me here in this conversation, but again, Brazilian lady, so amazing, has been working with us, and we see our LinkedIn metrics growing every year. Okay, closing deals is a different situation. Again, it's let me put like, until March or April, we already had the same amount of money that we had in 2019, but then everything stopped. So yeah, the 3 first years of this year, the 3 first months of this year was like amazing. But the next 3 ones, the second quarter was tough, was really, really tough. But the marketing department was one of those things. Going to partnerships is another thing. I was thinking at the beginning, yeah, we will build this company. I don't want to do partnerships. I don't want to join forces. And I get to the part that, no, we have to join forces, especially now. We'll have like a pandemic and the consequence that we have on the following years. And sometimes doing partnerships together, you are stronger. Of course, you will not have 100% of the deal, but having 70, 60, 50% of the deal, it's better than having 0. So yeah.
You know what, I have to say that I'm going to stop you for that second. I love that you realize that, because so many times people are like, nope, 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 nope. They'll say no forever. And for you to say like, we won't survive without partnering with someone. So I think that right there is huge. I've heard that from so many people where they had to take a moment and just like, okay, let's think about this for a second. I'm in charge of not just the company and this business that I develop, but now I'm in charge of a staff, and I want to make sure that they have jobs. And so I need to stop getting in my own personal way and creating those partnerships. And I think that right there is commendable on so many different levels, because most people, they would rather eat, I mean, look, we have a saying, they would rather eat crow, as in they don't want to cave. And so I think that's amazing that you realize that it was the marketing, without a doubt. I mean, and learning and marketing, I work with, obviously I've worked with you, I've worked with a lot of people. marketing is very overwhelming when that's not your lane. But to know when you have to form partnerships, that's a big one for a lot of people. So that's amazing.
Yeah, but it was tough because I was discussing with the other co-founders, and some of them say, no, Bruno, we don't need them. And I say, yeah, we need, they are good on sales. We are good on tech. Let's join forces. Of course, they have like a platform that is similar, a little bit weak than our, but again, they are very good sales personnel. So let's join these forces. Of course, we're gonna lose a little bit of money, but on the midterm, you will win much more. So yeah, it's one of the things that we changed this year.
That's amazing. I love it. How has the team been doing? I mean, I know that you have one person next to you, but in Portugal, on a few times you've been closed down where everyone has to work from home, and then everything was opened again, and then everything was closed. So how is it for the team during this time of up, down, up, down, up, down? And how is it in regards of, you said that FaceTime was very important with your clients, but now everything's on Zoom or whichever other way. So how is your company how do you think your company or other competitors like you are gonna grow in this time in Portugal? Because in Europe, you guys are doing obviously a better job than we are doing in the States, obviously. But you're also opening and then closing, opening and closing.
Yeah.
How do you envision your industry, not just your company, but your industry evolving or even growing with this back and forth, and with no clear end of, we'll call it, of the pandemic? Vaccination or not, we don't see a clear ending of people engaged like they used to. So what do you think your industry will look like in a year or two?
I think they will go back to the in front meetings, but one thing that we discovered, that a lot of meetings can be solved with a normal conversation or phone conversation. That was one of the main conclusions from the pandemic. Also, the C-levels, those guys with 50 years, that doing a Skype conversation was like, oh, come on, I'm doing a Skype. Nowadays, they say, yeah, let's do on Zoom, Teams. You can choose the platform you want. And they say, yeah, okay. That changed a lot, believe me. When I look with those guys back then, you have Skype, can you come here so we can have a normal conversation? Nowadays, no, let's do this first on Zoom, and then we will see if we need in front meeting. So yeah, even those people with 60, 70 years old adapt to use this type of technology. So that one was good because we spend less money on traveling, on going to this type of meetings. So that was good, but I still miss the in front one-to-one meetings that you see all the expression, the body expression from the people that is in front of you, if they are talking with someone near you or things like that. I still miss those things. Going back to the team, yeah, the first 2 months that we were locked down, it was a little, the first week we need to adapt a lot. Which platform's going to use? I didn't have a Zoom account, now I have it. But which platform that we're going to use, how we're going to control if they are working or not, things like that. The first week was a little bit tough for us to adapt. But again, I'm very proud of my team, and I have a very good team that we adapt very, very fast. And we talk with each other at 9 a.m. Everybody was online. If I have any doubts, I went to their rooms and we start talking with each other. So we adapt very, very well. But I get to May and I was like, no, I'm tough. No, I'm the CEO. I can go, I can walk around, I can go to my company. So I start since May coming back to the company alone, of course. But for me, it's easy. I'm far from my parents, from my grandparents. So I could not, I didn't have many issues or many risks on transmitting the COVID for the people that I really like. Only for my 2 cats, but they will deal more or less with that. So for me,
we've discussed you and your cats.
Yeah. But for them, I decide them. You have to choose. I will not choose for you. Of course, I want you, all of you, here on the company, but I will not oblige you to be here because you are with your grandparents. Imagine that you pick here and you go there and your grandmother dies because of you. No. So I decided for them to decide if they want to come or not. During the summer, I please ask them, come back. I'm losing the team. of course, we talk here every day, but it's not the same thing talking in front of a computer, or you are next to me and I have a doubt and I do some laugh with you and some joke, and we can talk a little bit of different things that we normally don't talk on digital platforms. But again, yeah, she's only here. She's the only one that is here because she wants to be here. The rest of the team is at home. So yeah, but again, I give them the the freedom to choose what they want to do. Well, yeah, we try different ways, but I get to the part. Please choose. I will not oblige you to do anything because that really messes with the motivation part. And I remember just to finish, Joy, one of the questions from one of our investors calling me, and at certain time, hi Bruno, how are you? How are you? How is the motivation of your team? Was one of his first question. I was like, okay, I didn't thought about that. But after that, having one-to-one meetings with each one of my team, saying, how is your motivation? Everything is good. Do you need something? What I can do to help you? And it was good. We adapt very well. But at this moment, I would love to have all of them here. They are not.
It will come again. I always tell people,
yeah.
It's the patience of it coming again. I have two more questions for you. In regards to, I touched base on it, but I want to get a little bit more understanding of, you are in an industry that there's so many countries that have no water. Water, the discussion of water and food are always, it's always this flow.
Water, food, energy.
Exactly, absolutely. What is your place? I mean, where do you feel that you will make a change, whether it's small or large? Where do you feel that you will make a change in making sure that there is water equity?
Okay. Well, I'm not God. I will not create water. I can assure that first. I'm not. I would love to do that, but I can't. No. One of the purpose of SCUBIC existence is like every product that we develop, every service that we sell, the client has to receive some technology that will increase the sustainability. And I'm not talking about environmental, social, and economical sustainability for our clients. So our mindset is that every product that we do, we have to create sustainability. We don't care which type of one, it has to have, well, the best one, if you have the three, the environmental, the social, and the economic sustainability that we get to the clients. That's our main purpose of existence. Try to build, and of course, going back to the water, that is our main knowledge, doing that. I would love to have a lot of money. We have a lot of ideas to continue to develop new things that can save water, can save energy. Water can be cheaper to people, energy also, and then go back to Africa countries that I'm saying Africa because we are very near to them, that doesn't have water. But I have seen some very good ideas here in the university in systems that can gather water from the air and we can pick, but they are researchers. They don't want to build the business case. I understand their technology and I want to build those business case. I just need money to do those things. So my main thing is having economical sustainability here at SCUBIC, and then picking part of that money and investing in new technologies that can help the society having access to clean water. Because there are so many good ideas to be developed. You just need money, the right team, and time. Of course.
I love that. All right, so my very last question to you is, if you had, I know the question, if you had a personal ask and a professional ask of anyone that is listening to you right now, what would be your personal ask and what would be your professional ask? Go.
Okay.
There you go.
So the professional, I'm going to every water utility in the world that have data and want to improve how they manage their water, how they manage their energy on, like you said, the food, water, energy nexus, this pyramid or this triangle. Sorry, any people that have data in one of these nexus, I can help. and we can deliver products that will increase your sustainability. Again, social, environmental, and economics sustainability. That's the professional. The personal is like, I know there exists a lot of very good technologies with water management, water capturing, water productions, a lot of different things. If you want to partner with us, we'll be very delighted to partner with you. I can assure. I don't have the right money. I don't have money, but again, we are a very skilled team. We have a lot of knowledge. We can help you developing your technology. We can integrate your technology here at SCUBIC. We are building our business network. So probably it's not going to fit for us, but we know who's going to fit for us. So that's my personal ask, is like, contact me. I will try to help you. And by the end, the only thing that you can receive is, no, sorry, I cannot help you. But I'm very open to have this type of conversation, and I love it. Especially it's going to be a techie conversation, and I really love to have tech conversation. Yeah, it's boring from people like you, but the engineering part, it's very, very nice for me.
It's not boring for people like me, because you know what the thing is? I know, I'm like, no. The thing is, everybody wants to, I mean, I should say the majority of us want to learn something new. And I am the teacher of marketing. You are the teacher of technology and mechanical and technology. And so the knowledge that you have kept and you've continued to grow for yourself is something that I don't know. And so the conversations that I have on the back end when I'm working with you with your company, I'm learning something new that I've never known. And I don't have to be 120% knowledgeable like you about it. Same thing, you don't have to be 120% knowledgeable about marketing, but the conversations that we have, that we could walk away with a little bit of more knowledge that we had before the conversation, is a win-win-win for both of us.
Yeah, I agree. Or at least you have the knowledge, say, I don't understand anything about marketing, but I know Jodi. Let me try to give her a call. Jodi, I need help. And you say, no, Bruno, I don't have time. Or yes, let's schedule a meeting.
Always have time.
No, but you can say, I don't have time. But my friend here, she needs this opportunity. So having that business network, sometimes it's very, very important. And again, if you'll explain what is marketing, I know a little bit, but if I want to build a marketing plan, yeah, I will call you. I will not try to do that. So yeah, of course, I will love to discuss different ideas, different approach for the marketing, of course, but I will get to that point that, Jodi, I trust you, do it. Don't call me, do it, okay? Call me when it's done. So yeah, but yeah, I agree with you.
I love it. Bruno, thank you.
Normally the entrepreneurs, just to finish, are people that want to challenge themselves in terms of everything and like to learn new things. That's one pretty sure, because even if you are a mechanical engineer or you don't have any master degree or college degree, you can build wonderful companies. Look at Google, they didn't finish their PhDs, and look how they are. And so again, it's a matter of getting on the right place, knowing the right persons, and having the right mindset to do this. And again, not everyone should be an entrepreneur. I still need my developers. I don't want them to be entrepreneurs. I want them to work with me. But again, it depends on your mindset.
Bruno, thank you so very much for just again the conversation of knowing what you do, where you came from, why you do it. Just thank you very much for just talking, because many people are listening and wondering, where do I fit in this world, especially during a pandemic, and hearing all of the stories that I'm trying to share on a global level is very helpful to a lot of people. So thank you so very much for taking a moment of your time.
Yep. And remember, the sun will shine tomorrow. So
it will. It's shining outside my window right now. It really is. It's all good. And next year I touch base with all of you guys again to see what happened. I want to hear the continuance. So this is not the last conversation we'll have, obviously, on this platform, but I want to make sure that the story continues on, because being an entrepreneur, being a small business, being an international organization that's growing in another location, being an NGO or a nonprofit, it's not just a one-day conversation, it's a continuous conversation. So thank you.
No, I thank you, Jodi. I remember our first talk was tough. I never forget those things. But one thing, I love you. So anytime that you need something from me, please send me email, call me, do something, and I will be delighted to talk with you.
You're the best. Thank you, my friend.
Well,
Bye.
Jodi,